Honestly, to be hard to imagine a Dragon Ball villain being as beloved and known as the Emperor himself, Frieza, behind Prophet Cell of course. I mean, look at that jawline. But Frieza is a special kind of evil. The first time you ever see him, he casually just makes a planet, not out of necessity but out of spite. Literally no effort. He's a narcissistic self-indulgent cyanic space tyrant who get joy from looking down on everyone. And if he's feeling generous, he will just kill you. And is my favorite Dragon Ball villain, behind Prophet Cell of course. But with rumor of Dragon Ball Super Season 2 flying around and Black Frieza creeping in closer than my will to ever touch grass, I figured it's time to go deep. A proper deep dive in the ice cold madness, which is Emperor Frieza. Dragon Ball Z, the explosive follow-up of the legendary OG Dragon Ball, was a massive hit like its predecessor. But you'd think after watching demons and outrunning key blasts in a tournament with talking animals and master martial artists, the world couldn't possibly get any bigger. But then came the Saiyan Sega and the Eagle incarnate himself, Prince Vegeta. And just when you thought that was the peak, we are introduced to an even more terrifying force, a pale grinning alien who destroys planets for fun and to sell them. Yes, at Toriyama literally called him an interstellar real estate agent. I wish I was joking. As a kid, watching the Namek saga, I was scared, not just for Goku, but for everyone. Because Frieza didn't just fight people, he played with them, slowly, cruelly, with a small little laugh. And when Goku finally broke past his limit, transcending and becoming a Super Saiyan, that's the moment that changed anime forever, teaching all of us something about grit and surpassing our limits. But Goku wasn't the only teacher there, because in Frieza I saw a curse, the curse of compliance, a being born at the top who never felt the need to climb. From my story writing journey, I learned a lot about making memorable villain characters, and how said characters must embody fully the title itself, villain. But although it's still part of the many types of villain characters, the pure villain type is still one of my favorites, and Frieza embodies it well. Right off the bat, Frieza is framed as the apex predator of the universe. You don't see him try, you don't see him struggle. He quite literally holds back his power by resetting his form. Think about this guy is so overpowered, he needs to depower himself just for comfort. That's the kind of ego only an interstellar real estate agent could buy. And because he never had to earn that strength, Frieza's confidence is unshakable, to the point where he treats his genocide like child's play. This isn't just arrogance, it's honestly just compliance wearing golden armor. He never learned to own his power, only held it. His compliance was like an emotional force field. It protected him from doubt, also blinds him to any weakness in his own game. Up until now, Frieza's biggest obstacle was boredom. On Namek, he met his first real challenge with Goku, but Frieza's mindset hasn't shifted. He still treats every battle like a minor obstacle or minor inconvenience. He casually holds back even as he fights at 50, 70 and even 80% of his strength, being too confident to consider one minor factor, stamina. When Goku summoned the final surge of the Super Saiyan transformation, Frieza complacent spacing backfires spectacularly, bringing one of the most satisfying scenes from the arc, Frieza begging. Satisfying. He had to learn that the hard way, though. Its infinite potential means nothing without the endurance to match it. Frieza downfall on Namek is the ultimate proof. Unearned power is the shitty foundation. His refusal to respect the grind, his compliance eventually became the flaw that Goku exploited. After the Namek saga straight up into Dragon Ball Super, Frieza does the bare minimum of 4 months of training, which he did complain massively about, saying, then he debuted as Golden Frieza in Resurrection F, dazzling the Z fighters. His spike in power was massive, and I mean very massive, to the point he reached Super Saiyan Blue level of strength and power. And honestly, a lot of people complained about it. that this jump in power was not essential, but it was essential. It was perfect for him, as although with his unlimited potential, his massive crutch has always been his compliance, because even in this fight where he grew massively in strength, he completely refused to get used to his stamina draining property of his transformation just because he felt he would always win. It's a perfect symbol. A half-baked ambition crammed into raw power upgrades, but skipped actually mastering it until it doesn't. Anyhow, realizing flashy power alone won't cut it, Fraser goes full drill sergeant on himself by firstly forging true golden Fraser by surviving hell itself, and heck, it was hell for him. Then come the real test. 10 years in a hyperbolic time travel-like dimension stated in the manga, but the result, Black Frieza was born, a form born of discipline, endurance, and cold realization that compliancy must be shattered before mastering it. His cruelty doesn't disappear. Hell, the chance of that happening is zero, but it became surgical. It doesn't just annihilate, it calculates. No wasted energy, no needless spectacle, just crisp, efficient devastation. Discipline doesn't soften the monster, it sharpens it. Freezer evolution proves that when arrogance is tempered by grind, the result is brutality that's almost respectable. It's simple. Compliancy isn't just a villain's flaw, it's a human one. Whether you're chasing gains or goals, never settle at the current peak you are in. You might find yourself outpaced by others or refuse to rest.